Today is September 11th, 2017, and the slogan is Remembering September 11th.
I'll be right back.
But what exactly are we remembering today? And what are we forgetting about? Are we remembering the facts or a lie that was told to us? Are we remembering all of the people who died in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? Both Americans who were conned into fighting an unjust war and innocent Iraqi and Afghani civilians who died?
Our commander had arranged for us to go and visit Ground Zero on our way to Guantanamo. So we're walking around the rubble, we're seeing the pictures and the candles. He gets us together and he tells us, when we get down to Guantanamo, man, remember the 3,000 lives that we lost. When we get to Guantanamo, remember what Islam did to us here.
Do we remember the lies that were told to innocent Americans to con them into joining the army after September 11th? Or all of the innocent people who were sent to Guantanamo Bay, some of them who are still there, actually, imprisoned indefinitely there for crimes they did not commit without ever actually being charged with any crime. "16 years ago today, I was 18 years old. I woke up in the morning. I'm not sure exactly what time, but I'm sure I could figure it out by looking at the history books. But I woke up, and it was my friend Daniel calling me on the phone, and he said, 'America is under attack.' I turned on the news just in time to see the first tower. At this point, I was living in Homedale, New Jersey, but I had grown up in Jersey City, New Jersey. These are the pictures that I took out of my bedroom window from the apartment I grew up in when I was 3 years old. There's the Twin Towers, and there's the Statue of Liberty. So, me and two of my friends drove to, believe it or not, Sandy Hook, New Jersey. We drove to a place called Sandy Hook, New Jersey. They wouldn't let us out on the beach. There were actually all kinds of military vehicles and police cars there already. And we drove to Atlantic Highlands, which is a small town with some really expensive houses that overlooks Sandy Hook, New Jersey. We went to a road where there were houses on one side and a fence with a cliff that went down on the other side, and it went down to the beach below. And across the bay you could see New York City. And when we got there, we couldn't even see New York at all. There was just a cloud. And we got there right around the time when the second tower was falling, right before the second tower fell. And we were there. A lot of people were videotaping, but at that time I didn't have any kind of video camera, so I wasn't videotaping. And we stood there with my friend's two dogs until all of us, including the dogs, started coughing. The coughing started up like a wave. We heard people coughing in the distance, and they were coughing closer and closer to us, and then we started coughing. And then we realized we're breathing in something really bad. So we left. But I didn't stop coughing it up for months, actually years. For about 3 months, I had a dry cough, and then for years later, I was coughing it up still. 9/11 dust that we breathed in. And to this day, I still occasionally cough and taste it in my mouth. I believe it's still in my lungs. And every so often I read the news and hear about somebody who's dying of cancer right now. But they've been healthy since 9/11. They just suddenly got sick because they breathed it in 16 years ago.
Hi.
Where were you on 9/11?
Texas.
Texas, how old were you?
I was 11.
Oh no. So what happened?
I was in school. It was 5th or 4th grade. teacher was crying because she was watching the TV and the towers were falling, and then they kind of like just stopped at school, really. No more work at school. Other teachers were just freaking out about it. And then I sent it home, and then our parents were freaking out. Yeah.
I'm gonna go inside and talk about it
A
more.
long time ago, though.
Yeah. Okay.
16 years ago.
Even though it was 16 years ago, though, it totally changed the world that we live in.
Oh, I know.
And like, for example, Donald Trump would not have been elected if not for 9/11.
Yeah. But it's been a plan in the works for a long time, is what it
Of course it has.
seems
And
like.
that's what I'm going to talk about more when I go inside. Now that I'm inside with better lighting, here's a better view of my picture of New York. This is the official story of September 11th. And this is a complete lie. It's basically trash. To find out the real story of September 11th, you can go on the internet, read some really informative web pages, and watch some really informative YouTube videos. These web pages and YouTube videos will tell you what really happened and who is really responsible. There's military officers for 9/11 Truth, architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth, and several great documentaries on YouTube, including one of my favorites, which is called 9/11 Conspiracy Solved. This is one of my favorite documentaries because it explains who was actually responsible for 9/11. Instead of explaining that the planes couldn't have caused the buildings to collapse and all that stuff, they assume that you already know that and explain who was really responsible for it. The people who were responsible for it are obviously war criminals who need to be persecuted for their crimes. That is why this is my favorite documentary about 9/11. Here's a video that I made where I explain how to tell that Donald Trump is lying. What he's lying about is September 11th. In this video, I show two video clips. One of Donald Trump talking about how the Twin Towers collapsed before he found out that his friend Larry Silverstein was involved, and one showing him telling a completely different story, apparently after he found out that his friend Larry Silverstein was involved. And I think that the evidence in this video proves that Donald Trump is also one of the 9/11 war criminals.
I said, how could a plane, even a 767 or 747 or whatever it might have been, how could it possibly go through this field?
And people were willing to die, and they're willing to die, and they're willing to become kamikazes in a sense. There's very little you can do about it. I mean, the heat and the power, actually it was amazing that the initial jolts didn't jar the building as much as people would have thought. But the tremendous amounts of fuel was dumped on the building, and 1,600 degrees temperature, I guess that's probably more than anything to take, no matter what.
See what I mean? And if anyone doesn't believe me that 9/11 is basically the reason that Donald Trump got elected, think about it. Comments like these would just be too controversial if 9/11 hadn't happened. I'm thinking of making a YouTube video called From 9/11 to 11/9, how 9/11 led to Donald Trump being elected president. Every so often, when I read the news, I hear about some Nazi war criminal who was caught at the age of 97, 99, 104 years old, and extradited back to Germany to spend the last few years of their life in jail for their war crimes. Something different has to happen with the war criminals who were really responsible for September 11th. Let them not be prosecuted for their crimes at the age of 97 years old or found to be guilty of their crimes years after their deaths. They need to be arrested and prosecuted for their crimes right now, before the victims and their family members die. And before the 16 years of war that we've had since September 11th, 2001, becomes 60 years of war, or before it becomes World War III, which may end all life on Earth, or at least all life as we know it. Because if you commit murder or mass murder and you don't get punished for it until like the last 2 months of your life, are you really even being punished at all? Damn it. Please like this video, share this video, watch my other videos on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye.